James Harden was traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers in return for Darius Garland. I personally really like this trade for both teams, as the Cavs never had much playoff success lately, but hopefully Harden helps them get over this hump. The goal will be for me to win the Cavs a championship, while I also pull off trades and rebuild them into championship contenders. After taking a look at our rotation, our starting lineup is looking really well, but our bench unit is only guard play. We don't have ourselves a backup center or a backup wing, so I am going to have to pull off some trades before we start simulating. After throwing Max Strus and Tyrese Proctor in Trade Finder, the Milwaukee Bucks are offering us Bobby Portis Jr. This season he's shooting 45% from the three-point line, so having a floor spacing big man beside Evan Mobley will definitely be ideal. It will be the backup center behind Jarrett Allen, so let's go ahead and pull off this trade. And for the backup wing play, we're going to be bringing in Herb Jones from the New Orleans Pelicans, where we send them Dennis Schroeder and a second-round pick. This is probably the 30th team that Dennis Schroeder has played on, but let's go ahead and trade him anyways. And now this is going to be the brand new 9-man rotation. In our starting lineup, we have James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Tyson, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen. And then off the bench, we have Bobby Portis Jr., Sam Morrell, Herb Jones, and Keon Ellis. And funny enough, the first game of James Harden on the Cavaliers is up against his previous team, the Los Angeles Clippers, who now have Darius Garland as their starting center. Let's go ahead and jump into Simcast and see which team will be winning this game. The Clippers do have home court advantage on their side, and so far we have the lead here in the fourth quarter with 6 minutes remaining, and it looks like we do go on to win 132-123, where Donovan Mitchell dropped 32. James Harden in his Cavaliers debut dropped 32 points and 12 assists. Let's also take a look at how Darius Garland did. So Darius Garland played pretty amazing himself, dropping 26 points, 1 rebound, and 5 assists. The next game of the season will be up against the Sacramento Kings, and we also defeat them 121-103, where James Harden dropped 26 points, Donovan Mitchell with 22, and Bobby Portis Jr. with 21. I do have pretty high hopes for our team, but I also have pretty high hopes that all of you will drop a thumbs up on this video and subscribe if you're new. That really does support on my channel a ton, and we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And at this time, we are rolling with a 4.5-star overall system proficiency, pace and space under Kenny Atkinson. I'm now going to start simulating here until the end of this season, and if you guys were wondering, we are currently the number 4 seed with 32 wins and 21 losses. Keon Ellis is a player that wants to sign a contract extension, so I'm going to go ahead and extend him for the next 2 seasons, and he only wants a minimum, which he happily accepts. Dean Wade, I guess I will go ahead and give him a minimum. We could possibly use him to trade in an off-season trade, so let's go ahead and sign him as well, and I'll do the same for Greg Porter Jr. We'll pay him a little more. At the time of me recording this video, Anthony Davis was just traded to the Washington Wizards to pair up with Trae Young, so keep an eye out for that video. It will be coming out tomorrow, but now we have 1 game remaining of this season against the Wizards. We do end up defeating them. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander goes on to win MVP. Cooper Flag Rookie of the Year Hami Huck has 6-man, Victor Wembanyama Defensive Player, Buzelis Most Improved, Tyrese Maxey wins Clutch Player, Mark wins Coach of the Year, and we end up winning Executive of the Year. Let's see if we have ourselves any All-NBA selections, and it looks like we do get both James Harden and Donovan Mitchell on All-NBA second team. Let's go. That is what I'm talking about. What about on all defensive team? We do also get ourselves Evan Mobley on all defensive first team right behind Wemby. And that will be it for awards. We did end this season being the number 3 seed, winning a total of 53 games and losing only 29. Before we start simulating the playoffs, let's take a look at the player stats for the regular season. So the leading scorer on our team was Donovan Mitchell, averaging 28 points per game, and then we had James Harden, who was averaging 25 points per game, 4 rebounds, 9 assists, 1 steal, shooting 47% from the field and nearly 40% from the 3-point line. 18 for Mobley and a few more players in double-digit scoring. It looks like in the first round of the playoffs, we will be taking on the Toronto Raptors, and they have themselves Emmanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes, and Jakob Poeltl, and this is going to be their bench unit. Let's see how things go here. Game number 1 will go to us, and Harden drops 27 points, 25 from Mitchell, and 16 from Evan Mobley. Game number 2 will end up going to the Toronto Raptors. They defeat us here by 1 point. Harden played amazing, but sadly, we do fall short. The series is tied at 1-1 apiece, but can we win game 3? And yes, we can. James Harden dropped 34 points, Donovan Mitchell with 20, and Jarrett Allen had 20 as well. We won this game by 21 points. Game 4 will also end up going to us. Harden leading the way once again with a 30-point double-double, 25 from Mitchell and 23 from Mobley. And we do go on to gentlemen sweep the Toronto Raptors. In this game, Mitchell dropped 40 points, Jarrett Allen with 15, and Harden had himself 11 points but 9 assists. And now we're in the second round of the playoffs, going to be taking on the New York Knicks. Let's take a look at how James Harden has been doing in the playoffs so far, and he's playing amazing, averaging 25 points per game and 9 assists as well as 2 steals and half a block on really good efficiency. Let's see how things go here against the New York Knicks. They have themselves Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, and Karl Anthony Towns. Game number 1 will go to the New York Knicks sadly, and they defeat us here by almost 30 points. Game 2 will also go to the New York Knicks, and again, win by 15 points. What I am going to do is come up with a defensive coach game plan before we advance to game 3. I have now come up with a defensive coach game plan. Hopefully that'll help us win these next few games. We will jump into Simcast where we do have home court advantage here for game 3, and so far we do have the lead, but it is a close and back forth battle, but we do end up winning 133 to 124. Let's go. Evan Mobley dropped a 29-point double-double. James Harden with 24 points and 16 assists. For game 4, we'll also have home court advantage, which hopefully we're able to win because the New York Knicks won both games at their home court advantage. Let's see what happens, and so far we do have the lead, but of course they take it right back from us, scoring 42 points in the third quarter. We are down by 10, almost 10 minutes remaining. Let's see if we can come back, and now it's a pretty close game. They're up by 1 point. Let's slow this down here and see what happens. We do need some clutch shots here. They're still up by 140 remaining. Can we come back is the question, and it looks like, whoa, once again they're up by 111 to 110. We tie the game and take it to overtime. Let's see what happens here. So far we do have the lead, back and forth battle, and sadly they do end up winning here by 2 points. Mitchell had 28, 21 from Mobley, and 18 from Jarrett Allen. We are now down 3 to 1. It's going to be pretty hard to come back from this, but you never know, anything is possible. I have come down before in 2K Simulation from a 3-0 deficit, so this is only a 3 to 1. Let's see what happens here. The Knicks will have home court advantage on their side, and so far they do have the lead. They're up by 9, 3 minutes remaining, and sadly we do end up getting eliminated by the New York Knicks. Mitchell played amazing, so did James Harden, but it looks like our defense wasn't all there. All that means is we're going to have to pull off some more trades this offseason, bring in some better talent to surround around Donovan Mitchell and James Harden, but let's see who goes on to win the NBA Finals. Let's go ahead and simulate the playoffs. It is the New York Knicks taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the New York Knicks go on to win with Karl Anthony Towns winning Finals MVP. And here is a little rundown of the playoffs. We played a total of 10 games, and in those 10 games, the leading scorer was Donovan Mitchell, averaging 26. Then we had James Harden averaging 25, 5, and 10, 18 and 11 from Evan Mobley, 15 from Allen, and 10 from Jalen Tyson. And taking a look at Darius Garland and the Clippers, they did end up defeating the first-seeded OKC Thunder, so it looks like the Clippers were a playing team, but then they defeated the OKC Thunder, making it to the second round, falling short here to the Denver Nuggets. Garland was averaging 20 points per game and 9 assists, whereas Kawhi was averaging 25. I am going to be trading away Keon Ellis and Herb Jones. Both of them were horrible in the playoffs, and I no longer want them around on this team. I'm only pulling off this trade for Max Christie. We probably will flip Najee Marshall as well, change his position to small forward, and then flip him. But I'm going to be sending the Mavericks Keon Ellis, Herb Jones, and a first round pick in return for Max Christie and Najee Marshall. And I decided to throw Sam Morril in Trade Finder because in the playoffs he was absolutely horrible as well, and the Atlanta Hawks are offering us Nickeil Alexander-Walker for Sam Morril and a first round pick. We will be pulling off this trade. Nickeil Alexander-Walker is listed at point guard, but if we change his position to shooting guard, he should go up in overall. He could possibly even be our starting small forward, sorry. And James Harden just declined his player option. I honestly hope we have bird rights, that way we're able to bring him back, because the Cleveland Cavaliers are obviously going to be extending him, that's why they traded for him, but hopefully we're able to do so here. And if we're not and he joins another team, I will force his way back to Cleveland. I'm also going to pick up the team option on Jalen Tyson and we'll let Lonzo Ball walk. And thankfully we do have bird rights on James Harden, which means we will be able to re-sign him, and so far the Washington Wizards are the only team offering him a contract. I'm going to go ahead and give him a 2-year, about $80 million contract, which is exactly what he wanted from the Los Angeles Clippers, so that's what we'll be giving him, and it looks like he will be most interested in our trade offer, and he does end up accepting on a 2-year, $83 million contract. And currently Nickeil Alexander-Walker is listed at the point guard position, but if we change that to small forward, he goes up to an 86 overall, which makes him our 4th highest overall player. He may be our starting small forward for this up and coming season. And the same happens if we change Najee Marshall's position from power forward to small forward. He also goes up to 83 overall. Now I'm going to throw him in Trade Finder and see what we could get back in return. I'm attempting to bring in Kristaps Porzingis to either be our starting center or backup center. He's a floor spacing big man, good rim protector, and having a floor spacer beside Evan Mobley will be ideal. I'm offering the Atlanta Hawks Bobby Portis Jr. and Najee Marshall for Porzingis, and they do end up accepting, so no need for any first round picks included. I've also signed Luke Dort here in free agency, but I'm not going to be keeping him around on our team. We are going to use him and his contract in a trade to get ourselves a backup power forward. And the trade I will be pulling off is with the Boston Celtics, where we send them Luke Dort and Craig Porter Jr. in return, bringing in Jordan Walsh to be the backup power forward, and we also get Luka Garza. And then Garza could be traded to the Chicago Bulls for a first round pick, and I believe this will be the last trade of this offseason. Here we are at the start of this season with a new and upgraded 9-man rotation. In our starting lineup we have James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Evan Mobley, and Kristaps Porzingis, and then off the bench we have Jarrett Allen, Jalen Tyson, Max Christie, and Jordan Walsh. We are going to be running Kristaps Porzingis with a starting lineup to see how things go, but obviously if they don't go too well, we can always switch him out for Jarrett Allen. Let's go ahead and simulate the first week of this season and see how we do. We do go up against the Warriors and New York Knicks, and we end up losing both of those 2 games. What about the next week? Can we at least get 1 win? And yes, we can. We just scored 164 points against the Raptors and then 169 points against the Miami Heat. Harden had 46 and 13, Donovan Mitchell with 43, Nickeil Alexander with 20. Against the Raptors, Mitchell dropped 40, Harden had 39, Nickeil Alexander-Walker had 20. And we will be rolling with a 4.5-star overall system proficiency, perimeter centric under Kenny Atkinson. I'm now going to start simulating here until the trade deadline, and if there's any trades to be made, of course, I'll make sure to stop and show y'all. And it looks like we have made it to the NBA Cup Finals. We're going to be taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Let's jump into Simcast here and see if we can get this win. We will have home court advantage on our side, and so far we do have the lead, and it looks like we do go on to win 135-121, where Mobley had a 27-point double-double, 23 from Mitchell, and a 20-point double-double from James Harden, with Evan Mobley winning NBA Cup Finals MVP. Averaging 23 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and 1.5 steal per game. We are stopped here at the trade deadline, and we're currently the number 1 seed with 36 wins and only 12 losses, so I won't be pulling off any trades. I do believe we have the team we need to win a championship, so we'll see how we do here in the coming playoffs. Max Christie does want to sign a contract extension with our team, and he has been playing so amazing, so I'm going to go ahead and extend him on a 2-year contract, paying him $7.7 million, which he happily accepts, $7.7 annually. At the end of this season, Victor Wembanyama goes on to win MVP, and we did have 3 players in the award races to winning MVP. We had ourselves Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, and Evan Mobley, but sadly none of them were able to win. Michael Brown Jr., Rookie of the Year, Murray Sixth-Man, Wemby Defensive Player, Zachary Risachet Most Improved, Zion Williamson Clutch Player, Kenny Atkinson, our head coach, goes on to win Coach of the Year, and we also win Executive of the Year. Let's see if we have any All-NBA selections, and we do get ourselves Evan Mobley and James Harden on All-NBA Second Team. We also get Donovan Mitchell on All-NBA Third Team. Evan Mobley's making it here on All Defensive First Team, and that will be it for awards. We did end this season being the number 1 seed, winning a total of 67 games and losing only 15. And let's go ahead and take a look at the player stats before we start simulating here in the playoffs. The leading scorer on our team was none other than Donovan Mitchell, averaging 28 points per game on 50, 40, 87 shooting splits. And then we had James Harden with another amazing season, averaging 25 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists, 1 steal on 50, 40, 90 shooting splits. That was a phenomenal season. Evan Mobley had a career high in points per game, averaging nearly 20 points per game, 10.5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks, and 1 steal, shooting a career high 39% from the 3-point line. Nickeil Alexander-Walker did play really well for us, as well as our starting small forward. Now in the first round of the playoffs, we will be taking on the Miami Heat, and they have themselves Davion Mitchell, Tyler Hero, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Andrew Wiggins, and Bam Adebayo. They do have Norman Powell coming off of their bench. They do have a pretty stacked bench, as you guys can see here. I do hope this is the season we go on to win a championship. Let's see what happens here in Game 1 of the playoffs. We do end up winning. James Harden dropped 31, Mobley with 27, and Mitchell with 22. Game number 2 will also end up going to us. Harden leading the way once again, this time dropping 32, Mitchell with 31, and Mobley had himself 31 as well. Game 3 we will also end up winning 125-103. Mobley led the way with a 20-point double-double. Harden with 18, 6, and 9. Are we going to go on to sweep the Miami Heat? And yes, we will. Let's go. Harden in Game 4 dropped 31 points and 13 assists, Mitchell with 29, and a few more players here in double and 20 points or higher. And it looks like in the second round of the playoffs, we will be taking on the New York Knicks, the same team that eliminated us last time around. So hopefully this time we're able to get our revenge. James Harden is so far averaging 28 points per game in the playoffs, and Donovan Mitchell is averaging 25. Let's take a look at the Knicks roster. So they do have the same team: Jalen Brunson, Bridges, OG, Josh Hart, and Cat. Let's see what happens here. Game number 1 will go to us. Harden dropping 41 points, Mitchell with 28, Mobley with an 18-point double-double. Game number 2 will also end up going to us. This time it's Mitchell with 46 points, Harden with a 20-point double-double. We won that game in overtime. Yes, we did. Game number 3 we also end up winning 135-103. Mitchell with 28, Harden with a 19-point double-double. Nickeil Alexander-Walker only missed 1 shot out of his 10 attempted, putting up 26 points. And are we going to go on to sweep the New York Knicks? We did not sweep them, but can we, gentlemen, sweep them? And yes, we do. Let's go. Mitchell just dropped 30 points, 18 from Harden, and a 15-point double-double from Mobley. And now we're in the conference finals taking on the Toronto Raptors. So far, Harden is averaging 27 and 9. Mitchell's averaging 29. How is Evan Mobley doing? He's playing phenomenal, putting up 21 points per game and 12 rebounds. Nah has been pretty good for us as well, shooting 44% from the 3-point line. Let's take a look at the Raptors roster. So they have themselves Emmanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes, and Sandro. Can we defeat them? Game number 1, we will end up winning. Harden with a 31-point double-double, 26-point double-double from Mobley, and 20 from Nah. Game number 2, we also end up winning. Harden is going off here, another 39-point double-double and 29 from Donovan Mitchell. We are now up 2-0. Can we make that 3-0? And yes, we do. Let's go. So far, we've only lost 1 game in the playoffs to the New York Knicks. In Game 3, Harden dropped 37, 24 from Mitchell, and 21 from Porzingis coming off of our bench. I did end up pushing Porzingis to be the 6th man, whereas Jarrett Allen is now our starting center. I changed that in about the mid-season of the regular season, because our defense was pretty awful, but ever since then it has gotten a lot better. And are we going to sweep the Raptors? Yes, we will. Donovan Mitchell led the way here in Game 4, dropping 34 points, James Harden with 33. And just like that, we've made it to the NBA Finals. We're either going to be taking on the Dallas Mavericks or the San Antonio Spurs. Let's see which team it will be, and it will be the Spurs, with Victor Wembanyama winning Western Conference Finals MVP, averaging 30 and 10, and we have James Harden, Eastern Conference Finals MVP, averaging 35 points and 10 assists. Holy, he balled out there against the Toronto Raptors. Let's take a look at the Spurs roster, and they have Fox, Stephon Castle, Vassell, Sohan, and Victor Wembanyama, as well as Dylan Harper coming off their bench. Can we defeat this team to win ourselves a championship? Game 1 will go to the Spurs. Mobley played amazing, so did Mitchell, but sadly we fall short. Let's jump into Simcast for this next game, where we will have home court advantage on our side. And so far we do have the lead, but of course the Spurs take it from us, and now they're up 10, 9 minutes remaining. They do end up defeating us here by 3 points. We almost came back, but sadly that was not enough. I have now come up with a defensive coach game plan for the Spurs. Let's see if that's going to help us win these next few games. The Spurs do have home court advantage here. Can we go out there and win this game? So far we do have the lead. We are up by about 20 points. Hopefully we can keep this, and yes we can. We end up scoring 145 points, where Mobley dropped 43 and 13, hitting a career high 9 3-pointers. Let's go. Donovan Mitchell with 30 and James Harden with 23, 11, and 7. Hopefully we're also able to win Game 4 to tie up this series. We'll be jumping into Simcast once again. The Spurs do have home court advantage, and so far we do have the lead, but of course they come right back and snatch it from us. They are up here in the second half, but hopefully we can come back. Let's see what happens. I will slow this down a little bit. We're here in the 4th quarter. We do have the lead currently, but we need to keep this up, and it looks like we will be winning this game 136 to 126. Harden dropping 46 points, Mobley with a 23-point double-double, Donovan Mitchell with 18. Now it's time for game number 5. I do believe, yes, we do have home court advantage on our side. Can we win this game? And so far the Spurs are blowing us out, and it looks like they end up defeating us here 141 to 128. We were pushing back in the second half, but sadly that was not enough. Mobley dropped 30 points, Mitchell with 24, and Harden had an 18-point double-double. I have changed up some player shot tendencies. Let's see if that's going to help us win Game 6. Hopefully we are able to win to push it to a Game 7. The Spurs will have home court advantage on their side, and so far we do have the lead, but can we keep it is the question, and yes we can. We end up winning 126 to 110, where Donovan Mitchell had 29, Mobley with a 24-point double-double, and James Harden had 16 points and 13 assists. And now the series is going to a Game 7, win or go home situation, win a championship or be eliminated here in Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Thankfully we do have home court advantage on our side. We do start off the first half really strong, and it looks like we will be winning ourselves an NBA championship, winning Game 7 132 to 108. And Donovan Mitchell led the way here with 39 points, Harden 29, and 16 from Mobley. And just like that, we've won the Cleveland Cavaliers, James Harden, and Donovan Mitchell a championship. Evan Mobley goes on to win Finals MVP, averaging 26, 10, and 5, as well as 3 blocks and 1.5 steals per game. And before I end out this video, let's take a look at the player stats for the playoffs. We played a total of 20 games, and in those 20 games, the leading scorer was none other than Donovan Mitchell, averaging 28 points per game. Then we had James Harden, who played absolutely amazing, averaging 28 points per game, 4 rebounds, 9.5 assists, shooting nearly 50, 40, 90. 22 from Evan Mobley and 13 from Kristaps Porzingis. In the NBA Finals, we played a total of 7 games, and the leading scorer was Donovan Mitchell, averaging 28. Then we had Evan Mobley averaging a 26-point double-double basically. James Harden was averaging 25 and 9, 14 from Porzingis, and 10 from Jarrett Allen. And that's going to be it for today's video. If you enjoyed, please make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you're new for more NBA 2K26 videos. There have been a lot of trades going on since the trade deadline is around the corner, so I will be uploading a lot more videos, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay up to date. Click here on the screen to watch my latest upload. Until next time, it's your boy Dragon, and I'm out. Peace.